Check, check. Welcome in, everybody. Good to have you. SK, yeah. I like NVIDIA as well. I like the close. I like the after hours close on it as well. Definitely take a look at that one. Nice, yeah. Let me know in the chat what price level you entered at. I don't need to know like your um, contract unless you want to, but like what level on the chart you entered at. I can kind of help you, give you some guidance if you need it or want it. Give it a couple more minutes, let people trickle in here, let them see the notification, and we'll get rolling, guys. Definitely, I want to talk spine QQQ as usual, but what did I list? Apple, Microsoft, and Tesla. Tesla hard sell, Microsoft and Apple in some particular spots I want to look at, but Tesla gave up a big level, so I'd like to look at that. Cool. Username R. Good to have you in here. Glad you're joining. Hopefully you learned something new tonight or get some help on some charting if we need it, but that's what it's all about, you guys. Be nice since we're a little delayed. Now we have Monday, Tuesday, Thursday this week, and then I think next Monday's President's. I can't remember. Markets are closed on Monday next week, I think. So probably another Monday night lecture next week, but we shall see. 7 people. And I'm one of them. 6. Come on, guys. Football's over. That's what I'm going to tell everybody. One more ping and then we'll get rolling. Bro, good to have you in here, man. Good to have you in here. All right, last ping. This may be all we got. Yeah, Chiefs got whooped, which I have nothing against Mahomes. I just didn't want them to win, and they lost convincingly. So, welcome in, guys. New people, veteran people of OT. Glad to have you guys in here. One last chance. Well, I guess you can throughout the chat, but just let me know in the chat if you want me to look at something. Because, like I say every week, this lecture is for you guys. It's not just stuff that I want to go over. I want to go over stuff for you guys. That's why you pay to be here. That's why you're in the class. So let me know if there's a name you look at, and if you're bullish or bearish on it, or if you're not in, you just want some of my thesis or outlook on it. Let me know in the chat, in the Zoom chat, that is, and we'll get after it. But if we don't have a lot of requests, we're going to get over a lot. We'll get to go over a lot of stuff. So again, appreciate you guys being here. Let me get the Zoom chat set up here so I don't miss anything. All right, guys, like I do every week, first things first, I'm going to take a look at SPY and QQQ because that's maybe not the majority, but that's what a lot of people play week after week. Just I want to point out some things on how I would trade it, what I'm seeing, some stuff like that. So the first chart we have here is SPY, and I'm on the 1 hour chart here. And before I started the lecture, I kind of made like I usually do, so you guys, I know some of you guys are on your phones and iPads, smaller screens. I just want to focus on these two lines down the middle that I made a little bit thicker, just to kind of see our price reaction at and around that, and see how we can get that, build a plan off of that, so to speak. We can see we had sold down hard Friday, and then gapped up right to that level of I guess importance, as you can see at 602, 602.35-ish. And we pushed up, and ultimately we kind of just at least after hours, we kind of closed, a little bit under, or basically in that kind of pre-market zone where we did. And so some things to note, I'm going to go over some, how I would play this, but some very big, not data tomorrow, but Jerome Powell is going to be, I don't know if the correct term is testifying, but speaking with Congress tomorrow and Wednesday. And that's going to be at least, probably an hour, maybe two, maybe more. And so pay attention to the news tab. It's called in our market news. It's under the crypto tab. He's going to be speaking. Check for you guys. 10 a.m. East Coast, so 7 a.m. for me. That'd be 7 a.m. West Coast time. So just something to watch, you guys, because if you're not paying attention to why while he was talking, you guys are going to see, just this hypothetical. You're going to see a nice set that looks like maybe a big breakout, and then you get a big kill candle down. You're like, and you get totally smoked. You don't have a stop loss, or you think that something is really, really bearish, and you get into puts, and we have this big, big buyback because the market is moving on what Jerome Powell is saying tomorrow and Wednesday. So if that's not your style, not your cup of tea, too much risk, whatever you want to call it, just sit out tomorrow or trade that first 30 minutes of the day. Just pay attention to some notes, and when Jerome Powell's done speaking, because he's not going to speak the whole time the market's open, but when he's done speaking, then you can get into some trades and kind of take it from there. There's nothing wrong with sitting out, while he's talking, because you don't want to be in calls and have this big candle down here. You sell and you're like, okay, we're getting bearish. Now you're in puts and this big buyback back up, and you're just totally lost the market. So just the quick little advice, you guys, because he is probably going to move the markets tomorrow, depending on what they ask him, tariff related stuff, stuff related to rate cuts, stuff like that. Again, he is going to move the market. But back to the charts, you guys. That was kind of long-winded. I'm sorry. Again, this pocket is the zone to focus on. Anything around the 603, 603.15, I want to buy. I want to be a dip buyer, meaning I want to be bullish. I want to buy some calls, because we can see, again, I'm on the 1 hour chart here. We can see the candle reaction anytime, even after hours, when we get around this level here. Okay, so it all starts with charting, you guys, and those are the levels I'm giving you guys that I think are a good buy zone. Anything in between here. So if we kind of trade in this range, literally in this spot here, in this pocket, this is literally a scalp zone. So meaning, you're scalping back and forth. Like if we sell under, I'm bearish under, but I'm looking for a big bounce here, a big reaction bounce, stuff like that. Any holds over and bounces, I'm looking for a big bounce over. But in between here, this range, it's about a $1 range. Definitely just scalping only. Anything over. So again, my drawings I like to do here, if we open kind of anywhere around this, I'm expecting to see bounce reactions like that tomorrow until it proves me otherwise. So again, calls off this kind of 603 to 603.15 pocket. And with the hold, I'm looking for a trend at least up until here. I don't know if we're going to get it. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. Okay. But we can see when we bounced there how easily we pushed up to that zone here and that zone up here. So any bounces off that level tomorrow, again, other than Jerome Powell speaking, this strictly from a chart perspective, it's easy to get back up here. And what are we doing to get back up here, guys? This is the first trading levels of the week. We absolutely, you trim on the way up, you trim. If we get up to high of the week, the highs of the week, not all-time high or highs of the month from this week, so this is Monday. If we get up here, you absolutely trim, okay? Like I always say, do not take screenshots here, go take your lunch break, don't set alerts, don't set a stop loss, you're up huge, then we come back down and now you sell for 20% when you're up 150% or whatever it is. So always have a plan, always look left. That is my bullish thesis. Okay, any opens there are the same thing, just on a higher level. Any opens over these levels, look for that a bounce to hold, because again, we want to see those wicks, we want to see those buybacks and the push up continuation off these levels. Okay, any opens under this zone, we push up. That is a safe short. Okay, if you didn't ride calls from here to here, that's a safe spot for puts. Okay, because it's rejecting, so that is now resistance until we get over. And if we reject, what kind of price action do I want to see? Don't know if we're going to get it, but you want to see price action like this. So we can see how this level rejected. So the candle opened here, opened here, pushed up sometime in that 1 hour candle, rejected, sold down, and that candle closed down here. So very, multiple scenarios, multiple setups we can take off of this. This is the daily 9, this dash line. So now how I'd like to trade week after week, and I drop hints on trade floor a week. Any trading around that, that is a moving average, and that is also a form of support. If you don't believe me, look at that big bounce here today. Okay, so any opens around that, I am not bearish. Okay, you can take puts on a short here, but you better be trimming heavily into that. We sell through, that's fine. You better be trimming heavily into that. Okay, any opens below this or sells through this zone, I'm bearish for a trend day, meaning, come down, we bounce, you short the EMA, come back down, bounce, VWAP, whatever it is. So that's kind of a break of structure, break of a big zone there, that 602.35. But again, into this 601, 600 zone, we talk about 600 week after week. That's also the daily 20 down there that's going to be creeping below. Definitely, if you miss this move, you're working, and you're like, oh, we're in a downturn, we're coming down here, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna get into some puts. No, you do not get into puts down here at 600. Big bounces happen, okay? If you miss this move down, you wait for a big support touch, and you try your luck at calls. Does that make sense, everybody on QQQ? Again, I'm on the 1 hour chart. I can zoom out a little bit just to show the thesis of, when we bounce this zone, we push up. Any sells under that 602.35, we see that selling pressure. Okay, and see, I got my alerts, I'm ready. This is how I build a trade plan. I have an alert set. If we break down, we start to fill this gap here, it's going to alert me. Okay, this guy can probably move a little bit lower for now. I had it upset kind of high, but again, we break highs of the week. It's only Tuesday tomorrow, so highs of the week, I'm interested on that as well. But until then, I'm just day trading this zone. Does that make sense, everybody, before I go to QQQ? Going once, going twice. All right, then. QQQ, similar thing, but kind of like last week's lecture. I think it's a bit easier to trade. So I talk about upper ranges, lower ranges, stuff like that. We're in the upper area of this range here. We can see when we get up to 530.58, we can see how we're rejecting. We didn't get there today, we're rejecting. We get here, we reject. reject, reject. Okay, so this is what I would call an upper range zone kind of play. So how do we play this? One last look on a kind of a zoomed out look here. Before I zoom in, I got this shaded area for us. I think QQQ is a little bit easier to play tomorrow, assuming we open somewhere around here. Excuse me. And he opens here. This is the level to focus on. 527.78. You know, we can pinch some pennies and get a little bit more accurate, grab these wicks here. But any bounces of that zone, I'm bullish on the day, meaning a day trade. Okay, not swings, not leaps, just for a day trade. I'm bullish on a bounce for continuation. Okay, where we're going to go. Hypothetically, we bounce this. I'm looking for this price action here. Doesn't have to happen, but when I see a bounce, that's my game plan on how to play QQQ right there. So we bounce that, and immediately, you know, before I even do that, I'll be on smaller time frames, and I'm going to be trimming. I'm going to grab this wick here. I'm going to grab that wick there. I'm going to grab this whole candle body cluster, and I'd set an alert up here. That's scenario number one. If we open at 527.78. Okay. Scenario number two, upper range, like I just talked about. Let's say, so we closed here, you know, after hours. Let's say we gap up a little bit. Okay. You don't want to take this because you're afraid of double top and you're afraid of this range break. Okay. So what do we do when we get up here? You can short this with caution, take your calls, take all but one, maybe leave a runner and you had a short position because, again, whenever we get back to that zone there, hard rejections. Or we are day traders, any break and retest. You see River talk about it, Flips talk about it all the time, breakout retest. So a breakout, we push, we break, or trim your calls, or maybe you're late to the party, you didn't get anything, like, hey, we broke the range, we're holding it, retest, call entry, and hypothetical, we ride up and we break this range that we've been rejecting. Okay. But again, if you try this call bounce, like I say, week after week, you know, what's your stop? Okay. If I buy a Friday contract, so I have 3 days of time, this is my pocket on my stop loss. This is a conservative stop loss. I'd basically draw an alert here, I'd draw a line here, and that's my stops. I mean, my entry's here, and I'm willing to sit through basically not even, well, it's basically a 60-cent drop. Okay. So if we bought at 530.6, I'm willing to hold to 530. It's a round number. It's this whole cluster, candle body closes here. So I'm saying if I buy here, I got to be willing to see a little bit of red. Okay. I can't cut halfway through this, let it come to 530, bounce hard, and boom, I'm back in profit, or I would be back in profit. Okay. I cannot cut in between, you know, a good support zone or a good pocket of support. Does that make sense, everybody? So you guys that freak out, like I say, week after week, that freak out, like I bought calls, I got stopped out, only for it to reverse on me. So you're either in too heavy or you didn't chart properly and you didn't find this support sitting here, and that's why we bounced. Or maybe it's a little bit of both. Maybe you're a little inexperienced and you're going too heavy as well. But again, if we buy here on the breakout and you're trying to get that breakout, you got to be willing to hold and see some red. Like nobody enters a trade and it's just the second you enter, it's green, green, green all the way up. Like especially zero TEs, you guys that play SPX, like guaranteed you're going to see some red. Okay. So even on a contract that expires in 3 or 4 days, you got to be able to sit to see if this holds here. Does that make sense? Why I like that support there? Because the previous high of day, the previous low of day can be resistance, but this scenario, the previous high of day, this is absolutely support here. So again, short underneath this, break up, look for continuation. But again, if we hold this range here, look for continuation up. Does that kind of make sense on how I would play QQQ, you guys? Again, I'm not going to give specific scalp levels because, you know, there's tons of levels in between here, but it can be, you know, candle bodies or these wicks is how I like to trade that. But again, I think QQQ is slightly easier to trade. I hope we open around here. Like I always say, you know, if you notice on my tab, whether you pay attention or not, if there's days that I don't put out a list, I mean, today Thinkorswim was acting up in the morning. I wasn't able to log in. That's why I was on a watch list. But if we ever gap up really big or really down, that's kind of why I don't put out a watch list, because I feel like the trade can get away from you guys and I don't want to give you guys levels. But if we open, man, anywhere around here, I'll definitely have some notes in my tab tomorrow. So anywhere around that zone or this zone. But if we like gap down hard, my notes will be, like we're in between the gap here, trade with caution, because we're kind of halfway through this zone here and we're on our way down here, whatever it is. So I hope we open around that 528 zone. Okay. Back to the chat and your guys' watch list. SK was first. Oops. NVIDIA. I like this setup, potential setup. So let's zoom out a little bit. Let's see where we're at, you guys. Let's build a game plan. I'm glad this got requested, actually. Okay. Give you a couple seconds to look at that. Focus on that 135.54 zone. Focus on this 131, 130.74 zone. Okay. So sold through support. Let me get some drawings back just to help you guys learn. Sold through support. What do we do? We went back to next support, sold through it. Okay. What do we do? Go back to next support. We now bounce this support, and old support is now resistance, meaning this line here. Okay. So our game plan, bounce up. What did it do? It rejected the resistance, sold back down support. Okay. Sold down, sold down. Okay. Multi-day trend up. Old support, what did it do today? Is now, or excuse me, old resistance is now support. That's good. That's bullish. We're in an uptrend, since here. So multi-day uptrend. 2 moving averages are underneath us, SK. Actually 3. 1, 2, 3 moving averages are underneath us. Support reclaim. So there's 4 things working for us and 1 against us. What's working against us? This old overhead resistance, and it's a huge level. We can see when we get to that, basically 136, but if you want to be really, really accurate, I'd do 135.55. That's worked well for me. Okay, we're coming back to that. And what I always say, first attempt breakout, it's probably going to fail unless we have huge, huge buying pressure tomorrow. Okay, so one last look on a zoomed out look, and then I'll zoom in for you guys and get a plan for you, SK, because I know you said you're in this as well already. All right, so we're going to zoom in, guys, and get a game plan here. Actually, since they're in this trade, I'm going to go down the 15-minute for you, give you a nice detailed look on how I trade this. So I'm now in the 15, you guys, but the trade plan still is the same. This is just a more detailed view. So again, uptrend, reason number 1 to be bullish, nice day. Reason number 2 to be bullish, support reclaim, daily 20 moving average reclaim. Okay, so now let's build a game plan. Let me go back to the chat here. 136 call entered at 133.8. 133.8. Okay, I like that. Entered last 5 minutes of the day. Okay, so a little bit of a sell through. Big wick buying back. Don't know how much volume is here. Don't know if that's dark pool stuff. We're going to find out tomorrow, probably. So how I trade this SK, I'm not going to say easy, but fairly easy for me, or the way I would look at this. And same thesis that we do on most of our charting here. So ideally, you want to get an open over that. That's the first plan of attack, because you said you kind of bought right here, and then we kind of sold through last, I'm on the 15 minutes, the last bit of that candle sold through there. But look at where they bought. Do you see kind of how that price action around there? Bounce, but we sell through, we see selling pressure. Oh, big buyback. What do we do when we buy back? We push. Okay. So basically your entry from today is how I would totally and fully build this trade plan. Any opens over? Absolutely. Where are you going to trim? How would you trim? So since you gave me specific levels, tough word, sorry, and you gave me your entry, how would I trade this? Exactly how I trade this. I would grab these candle bodies here for a trim. I would grab, trying to grab all these wicks here, and definitely high day previous day. So this is an exact trade plan, how I would trade this. Okay. So you're in the trade. We open, let's just say we open over it. We bounce it, perfect world. You trim. I know you said you're in 1. Okay. So take all here, or bare minimum, let's just say it's a 25% trade. I don't know. Bare minimum stops, let's just say 10%. Okay. We push up to next target zone. What do you do? So let me back up. When you're in this trade, that's probably gonna get screwed up. I should clear those drawings. I want to zoom in a little bit to kind of show you, because I've done a class on taking profits. So okay, we open over it, we bounce. Find out what your price is here. So if this costs you, let's just say $150, I have no idea, I don't trade NVIDIA. Let's say your entry here is 150 bucks. So now when you get to this level here, your contract value is worth 200. Okay. Bare minimum, your stop should be somewhere down here. There's no way this should go red. Okay. We're on a huge trending day. Powell's really dovish. We're riding. Okay. Next target. This is just hypothetical because he or she's in 1 trade. So what do you do when we get to target 2? Your stop loss is now target 1. So now this is worth, let's just say 230. What's your stop? 200. No questions asked. There's no way you let it come up to 2 targets, come back down, and you sell for like 5% or break even. That's horrible trading. You guys, the market does not care about you. It's hard enough to make money in this market day after day. You absolutely have to have a plan. Okay. We keep pushing up. For me, if I was in 1 contract, I'm absolutely selling at previous day high. Or again, stop loss here. We just got a nice trending day. We're just going up, 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 up. We break this, sell there. Okay. This is the same. This can be a same scenario, you guys. If he or she was in 5 contracts. Okay. If they're in, let's just say they're in 5 contracts. I'm selling 2, I'm selling 1, I'm selling 1, I'm leaving a runner for that nice gains tab post. And I'm selling everything here because I'm not selling because I like the money, because I like the percent. Again, you guys, what I always say week after week, I'm selling where the chart tells me to. And if we push tomorrow, hypothetically, to that 135.5, I'm absolutely selling all there. Big level there. SK, does that make sense? Hopefully this works out for you. I just gave you the scenario of, a bullish setup. That's what you're in. You're in a weekly. So for me, if we sell under this pocket here tomorrow, so that candle body cluster there, that wick there, if we open, under this level but over this shaded area, that's a hold for me. The setup is still valid. But any sells through this, and you got to just accept the loss. And for me, this is a good entry for puts if the market is bearish on a sell through here, because we sold. What did we do? We sold through yesterday's bounce zone. Okay. So he or she entered here, still hold. It's not going to be lovely. Any sells through there, you got to cut your losses. Okay. Because you entered here at support, hoping or expecting a bounce. It's like, if we're all the way down here, this setup for calls does not make sense anymore. So accept the loss and move on. Either take puts or shake it off, go for a walk. If you don't want to just jump in puts right away, take the loss, forget how much you lost, and then make it up later this week and move on. But hopefully that's a pretty nice setup. I hope that works out for you tomorrow. I really do. All right. Give me 1 second, guys. I need a drink of water. Forgot my water bottle. Give me like 15 seconds. All right. I don't know how teachers and professors do that day after day. I do this once a week for an hour. All right. Checking the chat. I don't think we had too many requests, but I'm going through right now. Username R, target, I believe, is TGT, right? Let's take a look. Haven't done that one in a while. Ooh, getting a little beat down. Some moving averages overhead extended. Let's go to 4 hour. Let's see where we're at. Let's build a plan. What do we got coming up here? Is that dividend, I think? Yep. Earnings, are they out of the way? In March, so what are we in? We're in February. Yeah, so earnings should already be out of the way. All right. Username R, are you in this already, or you just want bullish? Are you in it, or you just want some perspective on how to be bullish? Let me know in the chat. I'll pay attention as I chart some levels for you, get you a nice little range here. Again, like I always tell you guys, I'm on the 4 hour, and I'm just looking for candle body closes back and forth, little clusters. When we break over a zone, does it make sense? And that's all I'm looking for. It's nice to chart something that I haven't done or haven't done in a while. Always start out with it. To me, at least a 1 hour chart can be a 4. All right. So lower range here, meaning 131 is the lower range, recent range that is, and 133.8. So $2-3 range, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So this is the spot. If you're not in, this is the spot you try to get a bounce, because you buy calls at support, and this is support, and we see a bounce follow through. This is support, we see a bounce follow through. This is support, third time's a charm. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Okay, so beaten down for sure. Markets are pushing up, and this is just getting no love, so something to pay attention to. But again, you know, these are the trades where if you get the bounce right and you get some March calls, some April calls, whatever it is, if you're a swing trader, hypothetically, this is where they call the bottom tick. You know, you buy at the bottom of this range, and we bounce tomorrow. And what do? We just get a nice bullish, multi-day trend. That's definitely how I'd play this. So you mentioned you want to be bullish on it. This is where you do it. 131.16. I'm pretty confident about that level. I like where those candle bodies are closing there. Pretty much makes sense there as well. But again, sell through. What do you do? So if it's 3 or 4 days expiration, if we take a $1.16 move against you, that's probably going to hurt, coming down to here. But we see that big reaction down there when we bounce. I guess it could be warranted that, maybe I should slap, one more line down here as well, and maybe just call this the lower range. That would probably make a little more sense. So almost the lower range. So try it here. If we gap down, that's a support that gives way. I would say last chance support, absolutely 130.29, because that is a huge buyback. Huge buyback. Okay. Huge buyback. And he sells under, that's an easy short for me. So I like it. Same thing as NVIDIA. If you get in, you bottom tick this, I don't care what your percent is, you sell where the chart tells you. Okay, if you get in here, you trim, you trim, you trim. Whether that comes in a day or two or a week, you absolutely trim, because you do not hold this whole way up and you see 133.81 come in, and that's probably gonna reject pretty hard first attempt, because there's all this volume here, turn resistance, and there's probably a lot of sell orders sitting there. Okay, but there's obviously buy orders sitting here. Investors, day traders, whatever it is, there's people buying here that want shares or calls at that level there, 130.29. But very nice. And you get a bullish trend day, a nice push. We got some moving averages overhead. Those are going to catch up, so be mindful of those. You got the 9, the 20 basically stacked overhead. The 9's gonna move a little bit quicker because it's a shorter moving average. But a beat down name. But if you want to buy the dip on some calls, that's where you do it. Or you want to buy some shares for a flip, that's where you do it. Okay. Yep. I'm sorry. I'm just getting caught up with the chat. Is this a strong support? Yeah, definitely. If you're not great with charting, write these levels down or screenshot them if you want. 130.29, 131.16. basically 132 flat, 132.85, 133.81. Okay. All right. I'll get to your Tesla in a second. I want to get to Laro. I never know if I'm saying your name right. I hope I am. I think that's Walgreens, right? WBA. Yes, it is. I think I have some charts. We played this before. I mean, not you and me, but it's been requested. I hate that. Not you, but just the contract expiration format. I always have to think about. So that's February 14th expiration, 10.5 call. Bought it last week. It says stop loss. All right, so it's all right, man. We'll get you figured out here. February 6th, so somewhere in this zone. Got it. So let's just pretend you bought it here at support. Let's get a game plan going for 4-hour chart. Yeah, let's see where we bounce. Ooh, all right. We're not getting a great bounce for you. We're not getting a move at the market, but all hope is not lost. Risky because you have short dated. So candle body closes there, wicks there, wick, some wicks there, some wicks there. Bouncing here, does that make sense? Absolutely. Right there. Candle body wick there. Candle body closes. Nice cluster there. Overhead, why are we rejecting here? Does that make sense? Rejecting here, looking left, makes sense here. Volume here. Okay. And last chance support, not saying you should hold through down here, but we're going to get leveled. Okay. So you're in the red, most likely. That's a bummer, but I'm not going to tell you to take an average because it's short dated, but it's a tricky spot. So, you know, how I would trade this, I mean, obviously you said you swung, you did not cut here on this day. You got some things working against you. Get some drawings here. So, you know, you bought somewhere in here or up here. And if we're taking a look at just focusing like a one-line chart, this is the line to focus on. And to me, if you bought over that line, we sold through it, you didn't set a stop, and we didn't make it back over Friday. Obviously, it's in hindsight. To me, this would be a cut. I don't know how much it's down, so I'm not going to tell you to hold, but it's up to you. But I will, if you're going to hold, I'll give you perspective on what I would do. You know, this is last chance support down here, 9.81. So, you know, it makes sense. Those bounces there, the bounce there, those candle body closes there. Again, I don't know what percent you're down. I'm not going to say keep holding here to see what happens. But to me, you know, just to preserve, you know, money and capital is, you know, you're kind of in the middle of two zones now where it's closing. To me, it'd be a cut because we sold through, didn't break back over, failed to get over today. Obviously, the markets weren't super bullish today, but that's kind of where we're at. And now we're kind of, you know, if we open below this close, we're most likely going to hit this, and you're going to be hurting even more. And so for me, you know, the safe advice is to take your loss. And, you know, if you want, take some puts down in here and make up for that loss. You'll forget about that loss. You know, say you lost, you know, $40 or whatever it is. You know, hopefully you can make some money up, or, you know, just cut it. And if you don't like to take puts down this zone, just wait for some calls here or here, because definitely we get in this zone here, I'm not bearish. You know, I'm bearish when we reject resistance, or the daily 9. But now we're kind of in between this two zones here. So, you know, if you said you had like April or June or May contracts, I'd say, hey, you didn't get the breakout, but guess what? There's a support coming, so take an average. But if we get through here, you know, cut it. But since it's short dated, the safe advice is to take that loss and just figure out a trade plan or sit on it, set some alerts, whatever you want to do. But tricky spot there. Bummer that didn't work out, but clear rejections Friday, rejections today. Okay, all right. Username D, Rivian bullish, March 7th, 13 call. And then we'll get to Microsoft. Yep, okay. I don't want to run out of time. We're definitely going to do Microsoft and Tesla after this because they both got really, really good setups. Oops, sorry about that. 4-hour chart, Rivian. What is Rivian doing? Rivian, you guys, if you don't have the 200-day moving average on your chart, you're doing yourself a disservice. Bounce, 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 bounce. I think I charted this one not too long ago. Charting, or bounce there. Bounce, pre-market bounce again. Okay. Daily 200. You better be putting that in your charts, you guys, if you don't already. Okay. What's it doing? It bounced. Nice, strong, bullish day. Get a couple more lines in here for you. You're in a March 7th, 13 call. I love the strike. I love the expiration. There's a lot to like about this setup here. Okay. It's a cheaper name. So, oh, that's my dog. Can you guys hear him? That's not a husky, but he howls like a husky. He thinks he's neglected, but he's just outside. He's fine. Man, I lost my train of thought. All right. Oh, buddy, can you guys hear that? That's crazy. All right. Breakout, retest. Oh, come on, buddy. Come on. You're making everyone think you're neglected. Breakout, retest of a level. Okay, 1275. Breakout 1291. Okay, so this 1307, this big wick here. D, let me know in the chat. Are you already you're bullish? When did you get in? Did you get in today? Let me know in the chat so I can kind of give you a better day trade, and then we'll breeze through this for you. But I really like why they type in here. Look at that. Rejections, 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 rejection, rejection. Now breakout, and the big breakout, it holds. That's what you want to see. Today, all right, they got it sometime today. I don't know exactly what level on the chart, but I love this. If you're in anywhere down here or here, I love it. If you're in at the end of the day, I don't hate it, but we got to get a breakout in a hold of this level here. So that's all. That'd be my focus tomorrow. If you got in down here, let me zoom in real quick before I get to that. All right. Let me get to a smaller time frame here for you. It's probably gonna be way zoomed in. Yep. All right. So if you're in here and here, I love it. Okay. Because if this breaks out, your new stop is here if you're in down here. Okay. If you're in down here, this is your, you break out, your stop is somewhere above breaking even. So watch tomorrow, that 1307, basically previous day. So yesterday's high, that's all that matters to me. So if this trend holds, we break out, you use 1291 basically as your stop. Okay. This cluster here. We reject, even though it's a March contract, assuming you're up already, you know, if you're in down here, whatever percent you're up, okay, don't let emotions come into it, because we're rejecting, you know, where we should. Okay, we're rejecting previous day high. We sell through that, you know, assuming, let's just say you got in here. Don't let this retrace all the way and go, okay, it's March contract, I got 6 or 8 weeks, whatever, I'm just going to hold on and go back to break even. Okay, pay attention to the chart, you guys. Like I say, if we reject, take your stop out on profits. If we keep running, your stop out is here, or, you know, wherever you like it. You know, don't, again, I don't trade off percents, you guys, I trade off levels, but this is a very, very nice step that you're already in. This is really great. Oh my gosh, dog, you're doing fine. Oh, see, it's almost 6 o'clock. That's why he's crying. He wants food. He's fine. Any breakout over that, again, look for that 13.3. Your daily 9 is going to be underneath you. Your daily 20 is underneath you. Really, really nice setup. But I love this, this 1291. Rejections, rejections, finally a breakout and a hold. Gotta love that. Any sells under, if you guys are watching this setup that you're not in, buy all dips at 1291 until that fails you. Okay, any gaps down, 1275, absolutely. Support, all that, tons of volume here, you guys. Right here, tons of volume to buy support. Do not buy puts here, do not buy puts here. Buy puts underneath here. Short this if you want to be bearish on it, short it up here. But with this range hold, this recent range hold, very nice setup from this person. Okay. All right. Tesla. I swung some puts and it was nice. I took some puts somewhere on this breakdown on Friday. I wanted this 357 here. It triggered perfectly in the morning. I sold down here at 354. A little bit of secret though, you guys. So look at this down chart in Tesla. Tesla's expensive. I always tell you guys this. TSLL, because I'm poor. I swung TSLL, which is leveraged Tesla. Okay. If you want Tesla to go down and you don't have a big port, you buy TSLL puts. If flips calls out, Tesla calls, and it's too pricey for you, take TSLL calls. Okay. So look at this downturn. Look at these candle bodies. Same thing as this identical chart. Okay. I swung some TSLL March puts because they were affordable. TSLA Tesla puts are very expensive. I'm not rich like that. So Tesla, I sold through and my target, it hit it. Luckily, this worked out. It hit this huge zone here. Okay. Enough about my trade. 4-hour chart. Focus on that red line, guys. I am shocked that we sold through that. I am so surprised that we did not bounce that zone there. Okay. And sold through after hours. Okay. 4-hour chart. Quickly, I'm going to zoom in here and show you this November pocket here and how I'm surprised that we didn't hold that. Okay. I'm now zoomed in on the November price action here, 4-hour time frame. Okay. We bounced this zone today. I expected support to hold. And it sold off in the morning and it sold off afternoon. It cut through like butter. Okay. So we're now down here at 347.6. So Tesla is in a lot of hurting right now. This, let me just pull this up because it's here. This will be easy. If you're a Tesla bull or a shareholder or you want to buy some shares for me, that zone needs to be reclaimed this week or soon. Because again, we're, as of now, after hours, we're at 347.68. There is not a lot to be bullish on Tesla. Okay. If you're looking for cheap shares, guess what? They're getting cheaper. Because this was a huge zone here. We can zoom out even farther back. I'm shocked this sold through today. I don't know if, big money doesn't like Elon because of what he's doing, with politics, or if they just don't like Tesla right now. I don't know what it is, but again, I'm very, very surprised. So my alert is probably going to trigger tomorrow morning if we sell under this. So that is my focus for you guys that like to play Tesla. Again, this is the November price action. One last look before I scroll left or to the right, excuse me. Okay. So again, we sold through that. You guys want to play Tesla? Let's do it. All right. Any sells, any opens under. Okay. Supposed to be support. These are all resistance lines now and very easy to trade. Okay. Any sell through this, a sell under. If you miss the calls, I'm short here, but I'm not short on puts. And then, okay, I decide to cut. My stop is, I'd have to find some smaller levels, but I'm taking a short here, and this is my risk. Sorry, I'm drawing with the mouse. And this is my hypothetical reward. So small risk, big reward down to this here, okay? Again, any opens under, and I see rejections, I am short here at 349.45 if you guys want to take some levels. Any pushes over or any opens, we gap over and retest, I'm absolutely taking calls. I'm absolutely bullish on a support level, 349.45. Where do I sell? Look left. Previous day close, previous day wick. Okay, we push up, target 1, where's target 2? Absolutely, 352.8 into that 353 pocket. We push up again, stops are there, boom, sell, 354.82. All those candle body closes there. Wick buyback bounces there. We're pushing. What are we doing? I'm absolutely selling my runner at 357. Huge support, now resistance. That should trigger some sells there. First attempt, it's probably going to reject. Do we reclaim it? I don't know. But huge level in here again, you guys, that, again, I said it like 10 times. I'm really, really surprised they gave that up. I expected to see a bounce and a hold sometime today, you know, and just a reclaim, consolidation, and then boom, swing on calls. That was my game plan. I told some people in pro chat. Just, yeah, I don't know, again, if they're hating on Elon or whatever it is, but don't like that. Okay. Again, any sells through, you take your puts down, and we'd have to zoom out left here, but the person requested this. If you guys want to mark some levels, again, that 357 is huge. If you only have one line on your chart right now, that's the spot to mark. 357, 354.82, 352.8, and 349.45. Okay. Not a lot of love for Tesla right now. And again, the moving averages, again, we can be bearish on this name, but like I always say, you guys, look how far extended we are from the moving averages. We start getting extended, what do? We bounce back up to them, retrace. Okay. We start pushing overhead on them, what do? We come back, retrace for a retest. Price action moves down. We're getting pretty far from these moving averages. What do? We find support and we bounce. So again, you guys, you know, it's a beat down name, but if you take puts and we start seeing us bounce here, I don't know, but I would expect to see some consolidation here and probably a decent bounce up for retrace back to these moving averages up here. So, you know, we sell through, it's okay to be bearish, but just know if we reclaim this zone, do not just hold puts because you don't want to take a loss because it's a lot of money, you're over leveraged. Okay. Again, TSLL, if you want to trade this name, it pays really well. These swings, you guys paid 32% for me on a March contract. In March contract, I had, you know, 4 to 6 weeks of time. It paid like 32% this morning. Okay. There is ways to make money on Tesla without, you know, getting a 425 or 430 call way up here that expires in 3 days. We push up and you're like, why am I not making any money? Or you want to take puts, you know, you want to take a 300 put because it's cheap and you're 50 bucks out of the money. Okay. Are the levels transferable to TSLL? Great question. So usually any leverage position, so say 2x right here, a 2x ETF, this has decay because it's a leverage position. So if you play like TQQQ, which is QQQ leverage, it won't be exact. I don't know the exact decay. We can talk about this in DMs if you want an exact number, but basically I looked at QQQ for like a 30-day span, and I marked, this is not QQQ, but just an example. I marked a level on QQQ, like a round number, and I went out 30 days and we came back to that level and I checked TQQQ and it was not exact because of decay of this leverage position. So basically what I do, username, great question, is I play the Tesla chart. I set alerts on Tesla. I knew when this breakdown happened last week. So this breakdown somewhere here last week, and I set a topside alert for a stop out. I don't know exactly where it was, just for speed of the class. Topside alert, bottom side alert. Again, on Tesla, the actual Tesla chart. And when this triggered this morning, I mean, my chart's already open because if I swing anything, absolutely my charts are open. My sell button is ready. And we open around here. So this triggered down here at 357. And so I literally just pulled up my options chart on TSLL. I checked the spread, make sure it wasn't a wide spread, and I got out. So good question. You can absolutely chart on TSLL, but there is decays. There's gonna be a little bit of slippage. I would just chart this on Tesla, mark your levels, and then take your TSLL. Great question. Microsoft, I've seen that in the chat. I definitely want to go over it because this was on my watch list. 4-hour chart. Okay. If this after hours candle holds true, again, thick lines, you guys look at this 412 here. Huge level to pay attention to. Microsoft, this person, let me look here. Did I miss it? Where was it at? I thought I could have sworn it in the chat. All right, wasn't sure bearish or bullish, but oh, it was you, D. All right, perfect. 412, 221 put. I like the strike. I like the expiration. You got some time. Where at on the chart did you enter? Because I can give you a very good trade plan with this, because I'm glad this got rejected. What was the price level on QQQ that you entered, if you remember? In a day. Perfect. All right, so 412 basically. So if this candle holds, you're sitting pretty, okay? Let's look at market structure, and then I'm going to zoom in and look for you. So a 4-hour chart here, like I always say, you guys, why I like this 412 level, okay? Sells under, we see sell pressure. Buys over, buying pressure. Sells under, sell pressure. Buyback today, big bounce. Candle closed after hours again. Let's see what it looks like on a smaller time frame. But as of now, we sold through that 412. Okay, zoomed in look. I'm gonna go with a 30 for you. Very nice setup. Again, anything can happen overnight. We've seen how SPY was gapped down on Friday. We gapped up, so let's not get too excited. Any sells under, if you guys want to get in this trade, any sells under 412 and rejections, absolutely take your puts. Okay, because you expect to see, or I expect to see, price action like this. 412 rejects, leg down, trim, leg down, trim, leg down, trim. Okay, hypothetically, that's what we want to see tomorrow. Doesn't have to happen. That's what we want to see. So again, any rejections on 412. D, absolutely low of day. If you're in a few of them, low of day. Set an alert. Okay. We sell through low of day, it's on, because it gave up support. It gave up support. You hold, you're sitting pretty. Okay, look left though. Don't cheer too much. Get this price action here locked in. Send alert here. And absolutely, if we get down to here today or tomorrow, excuse me, basically 409. I don't care if you're in 1 or 10. I'm selling my puts there. I'm not holding puts. I'm not taking a put position at support. Again, puts at resistance. Okay. Any buybacks over, and to me, I got to cut puts because this is a support reclaim, and we're probably going to push up here. And to me, that's the beauty of being day traders, is they entered here. You know, you take a small stop out, whether it's these candle body closes here, whatever it is, you stop out, guess what? Get bullish, take your 15, 20% stop, and guess what? Make 60% on calls, and you're going to forget about those puts. Okay. What you don't do is you don't average puts, average. Now you're like, oh, I'm down 85%, down 500 bucks. Now I'm going to cut, and I'm cutting at resistance, and then it rejects and come back down. Okay. Make sure you have a trade plan. Again, you guys, that 412 on Microsoft, really, really great level. For the sake of this person in here, I hope it holds underneath you for you. But for all of us that are not in it, I hope we open some around 412 and we get some rejections, because that is a very, very, very nice level to play off of. It makes it very easy that if we sell through it, we know our stop is slightly above it and we're going to get paid. If we bounce over it, we know our stop is somewhere like this candle body wick right there. Again, if you take calls off 412, anything under that, stop out of calls. Very nice setup. Okay, let me make sure the double request. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. Joseph, I think I'm seeing your name correctly. Exxon Mobil. I think this was in here a while ago. Big wick there. Not sure what's going on there. 30-minute chart. Exxon bullish 112 March. Let's see. I like the strike. I like the expiration. I like that. I can dig that. So seems you're already in this. So I would definitely use, absolutely, I'm not cutting until we break that. Okay, 110.58, kind of a quick chart, but does that make sense why, you know, if you bought the top today, or hypothetically you bought it close, okay, does that make sense why we cannot cut until 110.58? You see that big level there, because it was resistance. Okay, sell down. sell down, sell, 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 buy back, hold over. Okay. So you got to be able to, hypothetically, if you just bought, at close, to me, I gotta see that hold. I gotta be able to sit through some red. I don't know what percent that is, but again, I play what the chart tells me. If I entered here, I'm telling myself I kind of chased a little bit and I have to be able to sit through that red. If that sells through, what's probably going to happen? Sell, 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 sell. You get the point. If that holds, it is now support, and I expect to see a push up. Do we get to 112 in a day, in a week? I don't know, but start looking left. Find some targets here. Very nice levels to play. So if we open where we closed, absolutely, look for this zone here, look for this zone here, basically probably 111.5. This pocket here, there's gonna be a lot of volume there. Do not watch a push up. You take your screenshot, you send it to gains tab, and then we reject. Back to entry. We push up here, you better be trimming. We push up to 112, you better be selling all but a runner, because guess what? We're back to the zone here. Okay, play the chart in front of you guys. Do not trade the percent. Do not trade the dollar amount. I don't care if you're up $5 or 500. If we push up to 112 because you chase like a goof, you better be selling those calls there. Okay. It is 5:59 my time, you guys. Quick recap. You guys can jet out of here if you need to, but a quick recap on the trade plan. SPY, a little bit of a chunky chart. Not my favorite, but not horrible. Any holds over, I talked about these two thick lines. I'm buying bounces for a bounce continuation like today. Any sells through 603 to 603.15 is a scalp zone with caution, because bounces can happen really hard in between these two zones. Any sells tomorrow, obviously Jerome Powell is talking, but let's pretend I'm not saying ignore it, but if he wasn't talking, any sells under that 602.35, I'm bearish for a bearish trending day all day. Okay, QQQ, a little bit cleaner chart. 527.78 is my focus tomorrow. 527.78. Might even send an alert just so I'm not a dummy and forget about it. Okay, if that sells, there's bounce zones here. I'm not saying. So if I say key level gives up, I'm not saying, hey, take puts all the way down here. Okay, take your puts when a support gives up, but look left and know where you're going to trim. Sell through that. Grab these wicks here. Okay, these wicks right here. You trim again. We sell through. What do we got coming up next? Daily 9 moving average. Trim again. Okay, now we're down to the last target. Now you sell your runner down there. Okay. Any bounces? That dog acts like he hasn't eaten in 3 days, man. It's 1 minute over his dinner time. Any bounces over 527.78, and I'm looking for a 4-hour candle like that. Does that have to happen? I don't know, but that's the level to watch, you guys. Okay. I appreciate you guys all. We're ending on time. Great requests, you guys. Pay attention to the stuff that people request, you guys, because there's some really nice requests in here, some really nice setups. That Microsoft, that Tesla, I think that Target was pretty nice too. ExxonMobil, Rivian, very nice. Rivian is a very cheap setup to trade. You guys pay attention to that. But again, DMs are always open, you guys. If you have some charting questions, let me know. Small port tab. We are almost through the earnings report, so I'll be more active in my tab. I'm just trying to get through DraftKings, Coke, Lyft, Oxy, Rivian, Roku. They all got earnings coming up, and so it's slim pickings when I kind of pick stuff on some setups. I'm not just going to throw stuff out just because. So hopefully I can give you guys some more setups soon, but let's just get through that, you guys. But I appreciate you guys all being here. And with that, I'm going to end the chat. Thank you, guys.